Greetings, Minecrafters. Nonsanity here. Actually, not just Minecrafters, anybody doing video editing on the Mac based on a game. So it doesn't have to be Minecraft. First of all, I'm using a Mac, and I'm using a program called ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow is basically an all-in-one program for doing this sort of thing. And what you can just do is set up, let me go to the preferences here, a recording hotkey, which I've got as Shift-Command-2. So I can be in Minecraft, I hold down Shift-Command-2, it gives me a countdown, and it starts recording. And you can set for how long the countdown, I just have it as 1 second. So it's nice and fast. And it will make all these little clips. You get a video and an audio. And you get them in pairs. And when you've got them all, or maybe as you go, you can take one of these pairs and drag them down to the timeline. And this was my intro for the last episode I did. So let's bring it over here. And actually, let's zoom in a little bit more here. Drag it to 0. And I'll hit play. Now you notice I let it run for a little bit before I start talking. And let it run for a little bit when I'm done talking. These little gaps make it easier to edit the ends together. Plus this is where I'm going to mix in my opening intro. Greetings, Minecrafters. Nonsanity here, and welcome. But there's my intro. Now you can hear the music. I actually start the music. This is my intro music right here. I actually come in here and start it, and then hit my record key and go to the game, record my intro, and I'll stop it now. I record my intro while listening to this, so I know when it's getting close to the end I can stop talking. As you can see, I stop talking just before it gets to the last fanfare. Let's get started. So I can time myself to the music. But I don't want to use this music. I want to use the clean version here. Plus, because I started after I start the music, start my recording, it's missing the beginning. So what I do is I come in here and I zoom in. You can drag this little slider to zoom in. There's the bump, 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 bump of the ending. And I've got these two tracks selected. I'm going to drag them until the bump, bump matches up. And now I'm going to select the video, and I'm going to go to the audio tab here, and I'm going to mute it. So now nothing in the game sounds that get recorded with the video are going to be saved. Just the audio. Now when you're doing the recordings, new recording, you can record the desktop. You can record an audio from a microphone. I have a Yeti microphone, which you can see I'm talking into right now. Ta-da! And then we can tell it to record the computer audio. It mixes the computer or audio with the desktop image. So that's what this is. This is all the game sounds in it, so I can record it separately from me talking. And I can boost or mute as necessary. So I've got the intro audio, but there's no video for this part. So I've got my intro video right here. And I'm going to stick it at the beginning. Now it's longer. It's going to overlap with my intro. If you come in here, there's a really long crossfade, because crossfade is the default. Now I can click close to the end of that clip and close to the end of this clip, and I can change how long I want that crossfade to be. Now if we zoom in a little bit more, we can see time indexes up here. They're probably a little too small for you to read, but that's 5, 5.5, 6. So I want a 1 second crossfade between these two. And I also want to make the beginning have a starting transition, which is going to be like a fade from black. And I want that to be fairly short, so only half a second. So now we've got the music, and it fades in here. I don't need all this silence, so I'm going to shorten that up, and I'm also going to do a starting transition to fade in, and I'll let it fade in to, oops, about there. You can drag these around. So it'll slowly fade in here, and I'll start talking. And now for the end, I don't need all this silence that's at the end of the sound file, but it might not be completely silent, so I'm going to put an ending transition there. And now I'm going to take my first non-intro clip, shift-click to get both parts, bring it down, and I want to crossfade to it. Notice these aren't quite the same length. I noticed that in the latest version. Video isn't always quite the same length as the audio. I wanted to crossfade during the ending fanfare. So that should give me a minute while the ending fanfare. So let's get started. So that worked perfectly. Depending on how much lead time, I may need to shorten these tracks, which you can shorten like that. But I'm going to use the full amount. And that will get me the first section. You can see it displays this preview of the sound. So now we're going to start putting additional scenes. But you notice I've got, normally these are in the order that you've added them, but I have this extra little audio clip here. I recorded this because, see, is this very good? Yeah, that's just me saying very good, which is one of the things I'll sometimes say just to fill in time. I think that was because at some point in this clip, I was interrupted. It was near the end, or maybe here. Hook it up. I tagged the card. Yeah, you couldn't quite hear, but right there you can hear my daughter yell. I tagged the card. And that's not actually too bad. But I thought I might want to get rid of it. So once she did that, I was silent for a moment. And then I said the same thing over again. Tagged the card already. So I want to get rid of that little bit of audio. So let's zoom in a little bit more here. So this is what I need to get rid of. I tagged the card. So I'm going to select the track, put the time index where I want to cut it, and hit the T button. That cuts it right there. I'm now going to come to about, here, select the track, hit T to cut it. And I'm now going, this is selected, I'm going to hit delete, it's gone. Now I'm going to take this little clip that I recorded of me saying, very good, and I'm going to scale it to fit and pull it down. There we go. Hook it up. Very good. I tagged the card already. Now it works, but there was a little bit of an audio difference between them. So by extending it a little bit, actually I have to drag it a little bit earlier, drag it a little bit late, and I can probably drag this a little bit more. Alright, now that should, let's make it even up. That should blend it in better. Hook it up. Very good. I tagged the card already. There is a slight difference in sound quality between what I'm saying, because it was recorded at slightly different times. I try and record these little fillers immediately so that it has the same sound, same ambient noise, but it often comes out a little bit different. But nobody's probably going to notice it except the fact that now I'm showing that there's this moment in the video where the audio is not original. But that's where you can get rid of little clips. If you wanted to actually cut out a bit, like let's say, I'm still logged into the game. I'm making this right after I finished recording this episode. Yeah, I'm using spaces, a 3-finger swipe on my trackpad to switch between screens. I also have another project over here where I've got the first part of this video already set up and ready to go. Inception. So I'm using this software to record this software, which is sort of nice. You can have multiple sessions running at the same time. The only one recording at a time. All right, so we've clipped out a bit. If you wanted to actually clip out a bit of time from the video, like let's say I had a cough, I would stop moving, cough. Maybe I'd clap my hands once just to make sure in case the cough wasn't loud enough, or if I just had to blow my nose or take a drink or something that I need to stop for a moment. but not stop recording, I would have to come in here, find that clap, which would be a nice spike with red tips at the top and bottom because it's too loud. Go find the spot where I stopped moving, which here is, there isn't one of these to do, but let's say that this is the right spot. Cut both the audio and the video. Go to where I started moving again. You hit the T button to cut it here. Select those two middle bits, delete them, and then drag each half together. Well, let's go ahead and show it here. Now, if nothing is selected and you hit T, it'll just cut everything at the current time. So I can hit T there. I can take these two, delete them, and then I can drag this and butt it together. And if I wasn't moving, if I was standing in one spot, it would be a seamless transition. But I'm going to hit Command Z and make all those changes undone and continue on with the editing. So I've done the first two sections. Now it's time for the third. Bring it in. Now this is just going to be a regular transition. And you'll see I've got, if I do this, you can see it. I've got lots of extra space where I'm not saying anything for both tracks. So that's good. That lets me overlap them and do a crossfade. I've got a little bit too much on this one, so I'm going to reduce it a little bit. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to see, I'm at 54, 50. Let's see, I need to zoom in a little bit more so I can see 1 second gap. And I usually use half-second fades, so that is about half a second there. Now I always play it, go make some materials, and I'll be right back. Alright, so that looked like a good fade. Now if you don't want to deal with the fades, you can butt them end to end, and you just got to make sure that there's not a lot of silence in between. But if you're editing that way, you can record without a lot of silence in between and just do jump cuts between. So I'll go to the end of this one. I want to make sure that they're the same length. It does have a snap feature, so if I have the time index here and I'm dragging the end of this, it will snap to the time index, which is very nice. It'll also snap to the length of the other one. So even though if the video track is a little bit longer, make it shorter and then bring it close and it should snap. And now they're the same length. And we can always just zoom all the way in to make sure. At this zoom level, a single frame is a big chunk. So if they were at all different, you'd be able to tell. All right. So I think that was it. This was the end of the video. So here, be good and see you next time. All right, that's my outro. That's what I always say at the end. So I know this was when I expected the end to be. But you notice there's no music. Because I don't know exactly when I'm going to end it, I don't play the outro music and talk over it. I just go ahead and say my ending wherever I need to. And now I'm going to take my outro music and bring it in as a separate track. I'm going to find where my last words were visually and arrange the fanfare at the end to be just after. So if I play it, next time. So there, it's right after the fan, maybe with a little bit of a delay. Next time. There we go. But now we need the video for the outro. I usually fade during see you next time, which is right here. So I'm going to bring the video up to end at the end of that. And I'm going to grab my little video. Now this video works for both the intro, and I'm going to slide that out of the way for the moment, because it has that intro moment as it slides in. And then once it's in position there, I'm going to shrunk the end to start there. Now I want to find the spot where it zooms at you, and I'm going to pick about the middle of it. Let's bring our audio back and put it in position. I want the middle of that zooming towards me to be about the middle of the third boost, so about there. So now it's overlapping my see you next time. Let's see how it looks. Next time. Now it's a little slow. So bring it over a little bit. Try again. Still a little bit slow. That was a little too fast. I need to get a little bit better resolution. There we go. One more try. That's good. All right, I can live with that. So now, when you're playing around with this slider, it always focuses on the current time index, so that's where it's going to zoom in. So you have to put that where you want the zooming to happen, and then zoom. And I don't want it to be too long of a crossfade. Again, about maybe a little bit more than half a second for this one. That's fine. I'm not too picky. But the next time, this is see you next time, and that's perfect. This will be the end. I want it to fade to black, so I'm going to add an ending transition. I want it to be a fast fade of about a half second. So there we go. I don't want the music to last longer, and I want the music to fade to silence, so ending transition there. It's fine the way it is. This, I'll also put an ending transition, so if there's any hiss from my microphone, it fades away nicely right after I'm done talking. And I don't have to do anything to the front, because this sound file already fades in nicely. So, back out a little bit more here and play the ending. I can take all this apart because it's not doing anything here now. There's the end of the episode. Let me know, and maybe I'll start with one of those next. So, until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time. And fade to black. And there we have our ending. That is the entire episode edited. This was a fairly simple one because it was mostly one big chunk here. Had the intro, one big chunk, and then one ending chunk. Is that it? Seems like I have missing a piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. I may have forgotten a bit. Well, we can add it back in. These things are very manipulatable. You can manipulate them easily. Manipulatable. They also have a little keyframe here at the front. So I can see that this one is this one. And over here is that one. So this section and its associated audio, which comes after it, were not included. So I can select the video and the audio and drag them down here into the timeline. And it's not going to let me put them in that gap because it's probably not quite big enough. Let's see. Yeah, it's almost exactly right. What do you know? So this is the one I want to overlap here. So that's about a half second there. Test it, some materials, and I'll be right back. I just placed, yes, that's where that's supposed to be. Now we will scroll. I'm using a 2-finger swipe on the trackpad. So this is a MacBook laptop. Now, I don't want to just grab these two and slide them over here, because that's going to ruin the editing I had down here at the end. All this. Oh, this is where I am. There's the gap. Let me zoom in. So there's the gap. So I can select these two, but I don't want to move them because I don't want to ruin all that editing I did to my ending. These two tracks. So I'm going to hold down Shift and select them too. So now everything beyond this point is selected. One thing I wish this program had was a fast way to select everything before or after the selection point. What it does have is if I come in here and I right-click down here in Track Selection, all clips after current clip. If I select that, it's going to select this clip and my outro video, but they're only going to do this on this track. It's not going to select the other ones. And if you shift-click and try and do it for another one, it selects just that track. You can't do it for multiples. But in this case, I can just drag a box, and that selects all the ones I wanted to select. Oh, look, these are slightly different lengths. Can you see that? I noticed that. Let's zoom all the way in. See, it's like 1 frame longer on the video, so I'm going to fix that. Doesn't really matter, but it might make it a little bit more difficult to do this overlapping. If I wanted to butt them together, it might butt against the video, but not the audio, so good to check that. And let's see. I actually have too much blank space there, so I'm going to overlap it a bit more than I need to. Unselect, select just these two, and reduce it to half-second crossfade. Try it. That was a little bit long. Silence. That was a really long silence. Where do I stop talking? Some time ago. I must have been slow about stopping this one. And bring over the rest of my stuff, and I'll be right back. That's about where I want to end this track. So let's reduce it. Again, I wish we had a feature to let you select everything past the track point, but we don't. So I'll drag this over, get a half-second select. All right, try it now. I'll be right back. All right, so that was still a little bit of a long silence there at the end, so I'm going to shrink it a bit more. And again, wish I had that feature. Alright, for the rest of my stuff, and I'll be right back. Alright, that's better. Okay. Scroll down to the end. Everything here still looks properly aligned. Yep. Now, I think it's done. I've got the opening, we've got the ending. Good job to test them again, which I won't do right now, but I will do before I do the actual upload. Because that's another thing this program will do. Not only... Yeah, okay. Just wanted to check that. Not only can you record and edit, but it has a feature published to YouTube. Now, once you've connected it up to your account, you can change the video encoding, the frame rate. My screen is 1080p, so it's already the right shape. I deliberately did that using this Switch Res X, which isn't currently running because I wasn't changing anything, but it lets you change your resolution to whatever you want. I highly recommend this if you're going to be doing videos on a Mac like this, because I can select 920 by 1080, which is high definition. And that just takes off a little bit at the top and bottom of my screen, because it's a widescreen laptop. That little reduction of used space on the laptop, which I can get back by changing that resolution anytime I want to, but I usually don't, because I can lose it for a little bit. It just makes recording a lot easier, because when I record full screen, it's correct. I don't have to scale anything. So once you've... I just leave all this by default myself. Come to here, choose your category, give it a title. This is Primus Unabridged. Episode 10. And this was Setting Up Applied Energistics. Give it a description, give it some tags. Sometimes I just put in temporary values here and then set it to private. And I tell it to upload. This publish will do the rendering first. This will probably take about an hour to render, I guess. And then it'll start immediately uploading it. And when it's done uploading, YouTube then has to do a bunch of processing. That gives me plenty of time to write the description, figure out the tags, and make a thumbnail. So when it's done uploading, I can finish editing it on YouTube. And when I'm done, I can shift it to public or schedule it for a later release. And that is how I edit a video from Minecraft to YouTube. I hope this helps anybody who's on a Mac and wants to do this sort of thing. Until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. I don't have to say it myself. I can have myself say it. Take care. Take care. Be good. Be good. And see you next time. Next time.